Welcome to this webinar on remote work tools on Zoho Cliq. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're all safe and well. Just a little bit of a head start before we get started. Please do let me know if you're able to hear my voice, if you're able to see my screen, and if there's any trouble, you can leave a message in this chat window that you see on your screen, and we will be able to help you out. An introduction about myself. I'm Manasa from the Zoho Cliq marketing team, and I will be your host for today. So let's jump right into the agenda. Now, today we will start with a little story about how remote work came into being, the idea behind it and the conceptualization and everything. And then we will move into a very brief introduction of what remote work in Cliq does, all the different capabilities. And then we'll start seeing each of the different capabilities in details, starting from how remote work covers different aspects of your everyday work life, starting from how you enter into office, walk up to your floor, settle in your desk, settle down, start working, you take breaks in between, and how you can do all of this while still working remotely on Cliq with the help of remote work. And with that, we'll then move into the different native integrations that we have with Zoho people and other Zoho applications. We will also see what are the necessary steps that you should be doing for you to set up Cliq for remote work. And finally, we will also see now that you've brought your office into Cliq, the next step would be to get access for all your guests and your vendors and your clients easily, so you can collaborate in one single space. So we'll take a look into what guest chat does, and finally we will have a question and answer session at the end of the. With that, let's get started. So I want to start this webinar with a quick poll. Since we're all working remote, and for some of us it's the usual routine, but for most of us it's completely new, right? So tell us some of your personal workplace challenges that you're facing when you transition to this remote environment. So we have a couple of options here. Let me just quickly go right in and start the poll. So the poll is all about some common remote working challenges that you are facing personally. So you can go in and select all the options that apply to you personally. So almost equal parts of you have told that you're not able to cope with the frequent interruptions and communication issues, and of course we're all having this issue where we're not able to cut off from work, draw that personal and draw that line between our personal life and our work life. So these are some of the common issues that we ourselves were facing as well. So with that, this really gives us some perspective into what we are facing as well as a team. So thank you so much for participating. Now let's jump right into the webinar. Yeah. So as Zoho ourselves, we were facing some of the challenges that you mentioned too. So here's a little bit of a background about how we went remote, right? On March 4th, 2020, we announced to the world that we have adopted working from home as our default for all the offices that are across the world, for all Zoho offices. So this was taken as a precautionary measure in lines of how the COVID-19 situation was beginning to impact India and how it was coming into the different places across the world as well. So with that, we as Zoho, because we run completely on Zoho and most of our apps are on the cloud, we did not face a trouble shifting into a work from home environment. But what was the challenge is we had no experience working remotely. All of us were accustomed to going to office, sitting at our desk and doing all of that. We had zero experience working remotely. And though Cliq connected all of us together, we didn't have any trouble as such. We were comfortable with messaging, audio video calls, group calling and everything. But we faced a new kind of challenge that any new remote team would face when you shift from an office workspace into a fully remote workspace. And we also realized that our customers, you as our customers, might be facing it too. So we decided to come up with something which will, replicate the office workspace or mimic the office workspace to make Cliq reflect as though you are working from your own office workspace, right? So the entire idea behind a remote work tool, and with that, we wanted to humanize the experience behind Cliq. And like we already pointed out, an attempt to mimic your office experience. Everything from checking in to walking out to your desk, looking at your coworkers and saying a hi or greeting them as soon as you enter into your workplace or before you head over for a discussion, and all of that. So this is how remote work tools came into existence. And this is the little story that went behind conceptualizing what we now call remote work tools. So let's think about how remote work tools solve certain aspects which any normal traditional chat software doesn't do for you, essentially. So if you take any chat software, it comes equipped with everything that you need to communicate effectively. You have messaging, you have audio calls, video calls, group calls, screen sharing, and so much more, which allows you to share information seamlessly. But what all these chat softwares lack is that they don't have a space to make you feel that you are more connected. You're all working together from the same floor, or you're working together from the same desk. You don't get that feeling when you are essentially messaging somebody who is sitting miles away. And this is the challenge that we wanted to address. So it's as simple as that. Your availability should not be defined by the green status circle that you see on your chat software. Rather, it should dynamically shift and dynamically adapt to how intelligently you are doing your activity across the day. Just like how you look at your coworker's desk and know that they are on a call, they're on their way to attend a meeting, and so on and so forth. Your availability in your chat software should adapt and change intelligently based on your activity as well. So for example, you don't have to go back and manually update your status to say busy or in a call or on a meeting or joining a group discussion or whatsoever. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go through the hassle of doing all of that. And your chat software should take that into control and should be able to do that for you. So this is the entire idea. Now, just like we said, this was an attempt to bring your office inside Cliq, and this is how we start with doing that. Now, for example, this is the first thing that we all do when we are walking into office, right? We swipe our ID cards, or we do some action which will make sure that we are checked in to work that day. So this is basically like marking your presence. So why do you have to have a separate application where you can go and check in or mark your presence? Why do you have to give your employees 10 different applications to just do one single action, right? And imagine if you're working from an office space, why do you have to have a separate entrance block or like a reception area where you have to go through that specific place and punch in your attendance? You have to eliminate all that. If there's a possibility to do that, then well and good. So this is what we're trying to achieve. So your swipe in or your check-in should happen directly from your desk. And this is addressed with the help of the check-in option that you see right here in the remote work view. And similarly, once you are checked in and once you settle at your desk, your status should be automatically updated, and your status should get updated, and you should have different statuses, because since you're working remote, you need to update people about what you're doing, if you're busy, if you're available for collaboration, or if you are taking a break right now, then people should be aware of all of that. So this should also automatically be managed as and when you are settling into your desk, as and when you are taking a call or going away for a break. So this is similarly how you update your availability to and let your people know that you will be away from your desk for say about 45 minutes to 1 hour. And just like how you similarly walk into office and look around your floor, you see your teammates, you see your co-workers, you need to have a space where you can view who is at work, who is away from their desk, and who is busy in a group call or a meeting. So the department view here gives you a very good look into who's at work and available. So you can easily message them or call them up if you want to have a discussion. And you also know who's on leave or who's away from their desk for say a short break. And the group call section also shows you all the ongoing meetings that are available. So just like how you have a conference room, and when you look into the conference room, you're able to see 5 of your co-workers having a meeting. This is pretty similar. You can see all the different people who are in a meeting. You'll just get to know that, okay, these are the 5 members who are in a meeting. And all your scheduled meetings will also be available here. So we will have a quick demo of how this works as well. So I'm heading over to the remote works section here in Cliq. And so this is how I've set up my department. So as and when I want to check in to work that day, I come over here and I just click on this. So I've clocked in about 3 hours of my work day right here, and the clock keeps ticking. And you have your remote work statuses, which will help you update your status. And if you want to take a break, or if you want to make sure you're not disturbed, you can just update your status. And so all the departments that you belong to will be so the department that is your default department will be listed over here. You can also see the department head who's and their status, if they're available or if they're busy, and if they have checked in or not, and all of that. So you can also see the various departments that are available in your organization. You can search by different departments. Say, for example, I want to see who's available in Zilker Corp. I just click on Zilker Corp and I see that nobody from Zilker Corp has checked in to work yet, and only two of them are away, and they don't have any group calls that are scheduled. So I go back to Zil Notes, which is my department, and I see that 5 of my teammates are at work, and there are 3 of my teammates are away or busy, and there is a group call that's scheduled for me, and it starts in about 24 minutes. I have this information, and all the recent group calls that I was a part of will be listed over here. So this is pretty much to make sure that, say, you had a recent group call and you want to quickly get into the same call again, or just discuss about something, then you can instantly go here and click on this icon, which will again pull in all the people who were in the group call and create a discussion for you instantly. So this is pretty much how you can head over to the department view and make sure that you get a good look at what your teammates are doing and who is approachable at the moment, who is busy, and so on and so forth. So if you want to search for specific members from the department, say your department has about 100 people and you want to look for this particular person, you can just click on, you can just type in the person's name and this will show you what that person is, if that person is available or if they're away, and so on. So this is how you can look for the person, and you can call them up, and you can even have a message discussion and so on. So for example, I search for Teddy here and I want to message Teddy something quickly. So just like that, if you click on this person, then their chat window opens up right here, and this will directly help you send a message right from the same remote work view, right? And if you are a manager or if you are an admin, then what you can do is you also have an option to see your direct reports. So these are the people who are reporting to you directly. So I can see that I have two direct reports, and one person is at work and one person is away over here. And these are the calls that have been scheduled with my direct reports, along with my direct reports. So this is pretty much how remote work view gives you an update about your entire team and how their day is progressing as well. So with that, we can also talk about how we also spoke about how you walk into your floor and look for a teammate with the help of the search option that is given right here. And coming to the live feed option. So this is where we wanted to bring in that feeling of working from your desk exactly. So if you remember or recollect how we used to just turn around and see if a colleague is busy or if they're just sitting at their desk, and you head over there for a discussion, right? So you, before you walk up to their desk, you make sure to see that they're not on a call or they're not extremely busy or held up with something. So just similarly, you can enable your live feed option so people can see you and you get the feeling of working together even when you're all miles away. So I have this, I have my live feed option here. So I'm just going to turn on this, enable this live feed option, and I'm going to enable this. So this is my live feed here, and when I have my live feed here, once I enable this, you will also be, only when you enable your live feed, you will be able to see whose live feed has been enabled. So let me just quickly check if some of my teammates have enabled their live feed. So let me just enable it again, and I can see that Ryan, my teammate, has enabled their live feed. So if I want to, just like how you look up to your coworker and walk to their desk, you can just see that this person has enabled their live feed, and you can click on that to view their live feed. Right here, it's loading anytime now, and you can see that my teammate has enabled their live feed as well. And in case you want to call them up and you want to have a discussion, you can just simply click on the request to speak option, and this will create a quick call between you both. So so this is my teammate here, and thank you so much for your help. So let me just quickly close this live feed option. Now, essentially talking about some privacy factors. Now, like always, this option is built keeping the privacy of the users in mind, of course. So it is completely under your control, and you can only enable this if you want to enable it, if you wish to enable it. So the live video feed also gives you an option to call directly, like we discussed, right? And so ideally, if you see someone is free, you just go to their desk and talk. So this is directly proportional to, you see somebody's live feed, check if they are busy with something, and if not, you call them up. So this is pretty much how live feed humanizes the experience when you're working remotely, and it also makes sure you are able to see your teammates once in a while when you're all working, even though you're all working miles away, right? So this is the entire idea behind having the live feed option. Now, moving on to how you can all come together to have a discussion or jump into a group call, just like how you all work together from the same desk or from the same conference room. Let's quickly head over to the remote work view here. I have my group call option, so I'm just going to click on group call, and I'm going to give a name, Zilnote's quick review. And I want to call two of my teammates, Ryan, and I'm going to call Rufus, and I want to have a quick discussion with both of them. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to start. So this is a video call that I'm having. So when you are on a video call, you can see that there is a yellow outline that comes up. So this is pretty much the an active speaker view. So this indicates who's speaking at the moment and who is currently addressing the call. And if you can head over to this space, you can see that there is an option to ring everybody who's in the call. So essentially what happens is, so ideally let's take into consideration your everyday your everyday conference call, right? So before you head over to the conference room, you're going to be calling everybody who's involved in the meeting, and you're all going to start the conference call. But in this case, you don't want to be waiting in a group call for everybody to come and join in. So what you are going to be doing with the ring call option is that you're going to be calling everybody who is, as soon as you start the meeting. So this allows you to let everybody know that you've started the meeting and you are waiting for people to join in. So this is pretty much how the ring call option is a direct equivalent to you telling people, hey, I'm heading over to the conference room. The meeting is about to start in 5 minutes. So why don't you all just come in and join me? So this is pretty much how audio and video calls, group calls with the help of ring call option work. So I'm going to end this call now. Thank you guys for joining, and let's end this. Right. So this is pretty much how group call in Cliq works with the ring call option. Now you also have an option to schedule a meeting. So for example, I'm just clicking on schedule a meeting, and right over here, if you want to schedule a meeting, say content review. So this is the meeting that I want to have, and I want to start this, schedule this for June 5th from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and it is going to be online, a video call, and I'm going to invite Rufus and Ryan again, and the agenda is to review Zilnote's content. So this is pretty much all the information that you have to give, and you click on create. So once you do this, the meeting gets listed directly inside your group calls section. Everything that's scheduled, everything that's listed will be available directly under the group call section. Right, so all the scheduled meetings will be available for you here, and if you want a more detailed view of all of that, then you can directly go over here, and you know that you have a meeting that's coming up, and it's right over here, and you can directly see different you can see it directly in the calendar, or if you want to see the meeting view, or you want to directly see how the meeting invite looks like, you can go over here. So this is the meeting invite that looks like this. So for example, as and when a meeting invite is sent, there is a group chat that gets created with all the participants, and there is an event invite that gets posted, quite similar to something like this. So you get to accept, decline, or say that you may or may not attend, right? Everything happens inside in the chat window. So essentially, you are channelizing all the information in one space. You have the meeting invite, you can carry out all your discussions in the same chat window, and you can have all the discussions that post your meeting as well in the same chat window. So information stays in the same place. So this is pretty much how the event invite looks like, and my teammates are have attended the meeting, and since the time is up, I can start the meeting directly from here. So this is how you can schedule meetings and how you can look at all the meetings that are about to start for you in your group calls section. Now, moving on to as an admin, how can you keep track of your team's work hours? Just to make sure that they are checking in, they're clocking their hours and everything. So if you have them tied down to a specific project and all that, so you need to make sure that they are clocking their hours continuously, right? So as an admin, you can leverage the reports section that has been added inside Cliq. So you can head over to the reports section like so, and you can see the time that has been clocked down for specific departments or specific users, their summary, their attendance, and user-wise view as well will be available to you directly here. So you can see the specific users attendance for a particular week or for a particular month. Now, for example, this is also synced with your HRMS tool, which is Zoho's HRMS, Zoho People. If you are using Zoho People to manage your check-in and check-out, to manage your attendance and everything, your check-in and check-out is directly tied down to Zoho People. So if you check in from Cliq, it will automatically be reflected in People for you, and all your reports and everything will be generated like so in People, just like how it happens when you check in from People. The same way, you're just checking in from Cliq, but your reports and everything and your summary gets managed in your Zoho People for you. But in case you're not having Zoho People, you can very well use the reports view that are available in Cliq's admin panel for all the admins, and you can manage your attendance, summary, and availability reports right from there. And so when you talk about giving the full office experience inside a specific view, you also have to consider the information silos that takes place. So contextual integrations help you break those information silos, right? So with the help of integrations that are available across different Zoho apps, certain actions that might not require you to head over to another software necessarily can be done directly from Cliq. So for example, say you are sharing a document with your team and you want to be able to preview this document. If somebody has shared it on chat, you want to be able to share it in case you miss out a person. You can do all that and more directly from the documents link itself. So for example, let me just head over to Cliq here, and I'm just going to open this chat marketing. So for example, you can see that I have shared a specific document here, and if I want to share this additionally to somebody else, I don't have to go to Zoho Writer or Zoho Work Drive and share it. So it's just a one-step process for you to be able to share it directly from your chat window. So I'm just going to click on share, and I can add all the collaborators. So if I want to add all the participants who are a part of this chat, I can choose all participants, and I want to give them the access level. So if I want to just give them access to read and comment, then I can just quickly do that and quickly click on share. So this means that I've shared the document with everybody automatically in the chat. And the same goes for a sheet that you share as well. You can easily get a preview of the sheet directly from inside Cliq itself. So this is pretty much how you can get the integrated experience when you are trying to collaborate over a document or a sheet or a presentation for that matter. And moving on to managing your leave requests or your asset management requests, and or even just directly seeing a person's profile view, right? So for example, if say you are a manager, you need not be worried about getting constant emails or getting a notification in Zoho people to just approve or decline somebody's leave request, or to just approve or decline a minor request, right? So you should be able to do that directly from chat. So when you share a leave request URL directly on chat, it shows up these two options, which is to approve or reject the leave directly from your chat window. So this makes it all the more easier, giving you more time to focus on something that that you can actually rather focus on doing, rather than switching different tabs to move across different applications to just do one single click or one minor action. The same goes for viewing a person's profile as well. Say you want to share somebody's profile, you can directly head over to that person's profile and copy their profile ID and click on and share that profile ID directly in the chat window. So this makes sure that you're sharing their profile information directly. The person can see their name, their email address, employee ID, and all other essential information. So this is pretty much when you're trying to discuss about a specific new hire who will be joining your team, and you want a person to mentor them. You're giving them information about the specific new joinee, so they can reach out to them, they can talk to them, and they can get started collaborating. So this is pretty much how Cliq and People come into picture, and Cliq and People allow you to contextually collaborate with information from one specific place. And when we consider working on a specific project, now the integration between Zoho Cliq and Zoho projects is so vast and so elaborate that you can directly run your project or manage your project directly from your chat window. Say, for example, you have reported an issue to your development team inside the chat window, right? So what you're about to do is your development team should be able to track this inside projects. So they have an account of what has been reported, and they have an account of who has reported it, so they can refer back to it whenever necessary, right? So in that case, you can directly convert a message that you have like so into an issue. So when you add it as an issue, what happens is it directly goes into your project's portal. It sits in your project's portal and has been assigned to a specific developer. And once the developer fixes this specific issue, the project's bot takes up the role of, acting as a direct informant. So once the developer has fixed the issue, the project's bot directly comes into the same chat where the issue was reported and replies to the message and says that this issue has been resolved. So as soon as the issue has been marked as resolved or fixed, then the project bot immediately gets triggered to update the user who has reported the issue. So this completes the entire loop of creating an issue, letting the developer know, tracking it in your projects because you are maintaining your project information there, and finally letting the user know that something that they've reported has been fixed and it is good to go. So this projects bot can be installed from the Zoho marketplace. So in order to install this, you just have to click on the extensions option here, and you can search for projects directly from here. So this will show you Zoho projects for Zoho Cliq, and you can click on install, and you get all the different options that you can do with the help of the projects bot. You can manage your projects directly from inside Cliq. This makes sure that your conversation, your project communication, and everything stays in one place. So that was all about how you as a team can bring in your office inside Cliq. Now, what about your guests or your vendors? So they should have an avenue to connect with you easily. And without having to sign up, essentially, right? So the guest chat option allows you to bring your guests into Cliq, but you still have the permission and you still have the power at your hand, because after all, you don't want your guests to be able to access your official information, your official conversations. So the guest chat is a fantastic way for you to make sure you collaborate with your guests without any hassle and with the privacy and security concerns in place, right? So for example, you can directly invite your guests and your vendors or your clients to by just giving their email address, roping them all in together by naming, give your chat a name and send them an email. So this sends them an email with a URL which they will be using to join the chat, right? So for example, I'm just heading over here and I'm clicking on the add all option, and I'm clicking on the invite guests option right here. So I can choose to enter an email address. So I am inviting this user who is a guest as a guest, and I'm going to edit my email subject, invites you for a chat on Zoho Cliq, for a chat about Zilker vendors on Zoho Cliq. So click the link below to join, and once you send a guest chat invite, right, you can directly get an invite that like so. So I've already invited a specific guest here. So for example, you can see this is what you receive once you invite someone, and you get a specific email and with a link to join. So you click on join chat, and as a guest you will be receiving an OTP to authenticate yourself. So this is the OTP that I have received, and it is valid for 10 minutes. So you have to give in your display name, which is vendor ABC. I'm just giving a random display name here, and this is the guest view. This is what the guest will be able to see. And if I say, hey everyone, you can see that there is a guest chat that gets created and with a tag called guest, right? And the guest has sent a message called hey everyone. And so this is pretty much how you can invite guests, collaborate with them, have discussions, and you can also manage your guests directly from here. So you just have to click on the user panel and you can see an option to manage your guests. Click on that to see all the guests that you have invited till now. And if you want to say your discussion with a particular guest is done and dusted, so then you can directly go over here and you can block the guest in case you don't want them to be joining again anytime soon, or the particular collaboration project with them has ended. So you can block the guest, and if you want to, if there's for some reason they're not able to join from the specific chat link that you've sent, you can resend the chat link directly from here, and all the guest group chats that you've created will be listed here. So you can even lock the chat to make sure that there's no discrepancy involved in the chat. So this is pretty much how guest chat allows you to, you know, collaborate with people, collaborate with guests, vendors, clients, without having to sign up, right? So this is pretty much how guest chat helps you collaborate, and how remote work tools together comes into picture to give you the joy of going to work and working while you're sitting virtually from your home, right? So this is the entire idea behind remote work and behind channelizing remote work for your office. Now, these are some of the next steps that you should be doing in order to get remote work up and running for your team or for your department. Right. So the first step is to set up departments and designation in Cliq as well as in Zoho People. So if you are using Zoho People, then you will head over to People and you will have your department and your designation and everything in place, thereby making it easier for you to create teams and everything. So whatever departments you create in People will be reflected directly over here. So this makes it easier for you to have people get them on the remote work view, reflect all these statuses and everything. And the next step would be, if you want to configure certain modules and role based permissions. So Cliq's admin panel allows you to add different module permissions, add different configurations based on your own requirements. There may be certain conditions where you don't have the necessity of an external channel, you don't have a necessity of a personal channel, or if you want to restrict audio video calls, or if you want to restrict calendar events or anything of that sort, you can go and completely customize Cliq from the module configurations section in the in your Cliq's admin panel. And once you do that, you also have an option to add different roles and assign people with all these different roles. So you essentially are allocating certain permissions to all the different users. So you make sure that whatever actions are being done by users are all more structured and more channelized. So to do roles, create user roles and assign permissions, you have to head over to your admin panel. So this is how you go to your admin panel. You just click on your user profile. You have the admin panel option here. Just click on this and this will take you to the admin panel view. This will be the view where you land in, right? And once you do that, you click on your roles option that you have here. And once you do that, you can add a role and you can give a description. You can assign certain users. So once you have added a role, you can choose to alter different permissions. Say, is the developer applicable to create a organization-wide channel? Should you allow a developer to create a guest chat or just simply use a guest chat? So I just want to allow my developer to use a guest chat and not create one. And I want my developers to have entire access to all the internal tools that are available. And they should also be able to do file sharing and all of that. So the same applies to mobile as well. Should you allow people to copy and paste a message? Should you allow people to download a file that has been shared on Cliq? If you want to restrict any of these, then you can just create a role, assign people to it, and allow or disable permissions to specific actions. So this is pretty much how you can exercise control on your department members and your organization members. So this is just to make sure that you have your organization's privacy and security in consideration, and you are playing by your organizational rules, right? The next step would be to download your mobile apps. Because you're working remote, you also need to be informed and need easy access. So it is always better if you have your mobile application in place. This makes it all the more easier to let people know if you're away, or if you're, if you don't want to be disturbed, you can just type in a message, do not disturb, and then get on with your personal work rather than having to access your laptop and update things then and there. Right? And the last and the most important step is to move all your calls and your meetings. We know that we are more tempted to calling up on somebody's phone, or calling or using different tools to carry out our meetings. But what is important here is how effectively we keep our information in one single space. Ideally, when you think about it, when you have a call or when you create a meeting in any other software, or when you just call up somebody on their phone, you talk to them over there, and sometimes you forget about it. But with the help of meetings in Cliq, and with the help of Zoho integration, Zoho notebooks integration, you're able to take notes during the meeting. You're able to add a minutes of the meeting right inside the same chat window, where everybody who was a part of the meeting can see what was discussed, right? So this makes it all the more easier for you as well to make sure that you are avoiding information silos as much as possible. So as a champion, as a admin, these are the four things that you should be doing in order to get remote work up and running into your system. You should set up your departments and designation like we discussed. You should set up your module configurations and role-based permissions to make sure you have your organization's security and privacy and permission concerns in place. Download Cliq mobile apps for everybody. Ask your employees to download mobile apps to make sure that they can let people know and they're also informed at all times, and move all your calls and meetings into Cliq to avoid information silos. So these are some of the steps that we recommend, and these were some of the steps that we ourselves did in order to make sure the transition from office to remote was smooth enough while still maintaining and mimicking the same environment that we have been enjoying in our office space. Right? To Cliq, we would love to know your feedback. Please do tweet your webinar takeaways to us, and you can tag our handle, which is at Zoho Cliq. You can even use the hashtag remote working, and you can hashtag Zoho Cliq as well. All the webinar takeaways, how you felt about this webinar, what you learned, and everything. If you have further questions, you can always drop in a mail to support@zohocliq.com. We are here to help you out, and in case you need a better solution, or if you want something clarified, then we are always available at support@zohocliq.com. You all have a great day. Please do stay safe and take care of yourself. We will be sharing the webinar recording to you shortly, so you can refer back to this anytime necessary. So thank you so much once again. All of you have a great day, and bye-bye.